And we're live. Hello, everybody, man. I'm so excited to have you all here today. Cannot wait to introduce Frank and Johnny to you in just a second. But I want to say this before I get to the main act here today, tonight, wherever you are in the country, the world. Uh, this is it, baby. 2021. Goodbye, 2020. Good or bad. Goodbye, 2020. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. You can't live on your press clippings. Some of you had your best year ever. That's great, but we got to look ahead this year, next year, 5, 10 years from now. So excited about what this year has to offer. So, for those of you that I have not met, I'm Brent Gove, and I am coming to you live from the Caribbean. And I even wore my little peachy shirt here to celebrate Puerto Rico. I got John Jennings up in the Sacramento area, Northern California, and Frank. Who knows where Frank lives? He's all. Every time I see him, he's all over. Frank, where are you right now? Where what part of the
I'm
country?
actually I live in Coronado now, just off San Diego.
Coronado. I was born in San Diego, my hometown. So you're gonna be blown away. But I just want to encourage everybody, if you have not done this, I have done it. Set up your goals, get organized, get a list of goals for 2021, come up with it, figure it out, and then get it done. You can't hit a goal you don't have. You can't hit a target you can't see. So set up the goal, set up the target, get very definitive, get deadlines, get kind of granular, get in the weeds, and get after it, man. Step up. Oh my gosh, you get 24 hours a day. There's so much you could do this year, and just win the day, because then you do that all week long, then you win the week, then you win the month, then you win the year. So man, today you're gonna have your minds blown. I like that. I kind of missed that around. But here's the deal. I watched Frank for over a decade. He is viral marketing. He is a big nuclear weapon. He's a big deal. No, all the people who sell 100 to 1,000 homes a year know who he is. And a lot of you are like, I don't know. You probably just sell 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 homes a year. That's probably why you don't know him. But so here's the deal. Today, you're going to have your minds blown. So pay close attention. And the reason we have Frank here today is because my good friend, John Jennings, came to me about a month ago and says, oh my gosh, we got to get Frank on. We got to get Frank on. Let's just add a ton of value. There's no pitch here. You're not going to be offered a program. Sign up today. Frank's just going to bring a ton of value. And then if you like what you see and you want to know more, feel free to reach out to Frank, Google him, whatever you got to do, you'll find him. But John, before we get Frank on, you're going to actually introduce John, because this was your brainchild. John Jennings, my dear buddy, friend, John and Valerie, beautiful couple. They invited us to Tahoe, to their beautiful cabin on the water at Lake Tahoe, one of the 8 wonders of the world, and invited us to Thanksgiving. And we accepted, and we spent Thanksgiving with the Jennings. We love them on the water at Lake Tahoe. It was a very special day. Very grateful. So John Jennings, take it away. I'll let you introduce Frank, and thank you for setting this up, John.
Hey, my pleasure, Brent. Thank you so much. And by the way, Thanksgiving was a blast. Your family is an absolute joy to be around. We love you guys dearly. So Frank, as you've heard, is with Vyral Marketing, right? And he specializes in many types of marketing, specifically real estate agent marketing. And what he's going to discuss today, I've seen it twice. I've seen the presentation twice. He's going to discuss zero cost marketing. You may not know what that is. Some of you may know what that is. By the end of this program, you will all know what it is. And in fact, what he's going to share today is an absolute game changer. In fact, one agent using this exact strategy that Frank's going to share today is generating over or close to $200,000 a month, right, in marketing money. So this is real. This is ninja stuff. This is what teams are going to be doing, what individual agents, what brokerages are going to be doing I think in 3 years. So right now, the time is now. So turn off your phones, get rid of any distractions, get ready to take copious notes, warm up that hand, and this might be the most valuable training you see all year. Frank, take it away.
Wow, that's a heck of an introduction. Thank you, guys, and thanks for having me.
I believe it.
Thank you all for attending instead of setting your time. I'll respect your time. So first off, because the material's dense today, we're covering something that probably needs a significant amount of time for like mindset change and lots of paneling examples to kind of overcome limiting beliefs to set things up. then you get into the hard tactics. We're skipping the limiting beliefs, and we're skipping the, bringing successful people in front of you that are doing this for time purposes. So because this is a very tactical training, I went ahead and put together a worksheet for our lesson today. I'm going to put this in the chat here. Let's make sure I have the right one real quick, because I have a couple links I'm going to share with you. Perfect. So in the chat, I'm going to go to all panelists and attendees. Everyone in the chat on Zoom will now have a link to a PDF that you can follow along for the material today. Does that sound good? Now, in addition to that, because I know some of you might trail off as time goes on, there's another item of value here that was promised to you when you register on Eventbrite, which is the actual co-advertising agreement that I would recommend, and you're feel free to change it. But at the end of the day, you're going to sit in front of a financial advisor, a car dealership, HVAC company. We're going to talk about that. And you're going to say, I need your credit card to pay me so I can go buy marketing, right? And we're going to work on getting to that point. But what does that document look like? What are the deliverables and how do you ask for the money? I'm going to give you that suggested co-advertising agreement right now up front, even though we'll talk about this later in the presentation today. So here's a link to that as well that you can download. Does that sound good? In addition to that, there's a third item of value here is, okay, I kind of know where we're going here, Frank, but like, I got to reach out to a business owner and get an appointment. Do you have maybe like a letter or some messaging that I would even use to even open that discussion with somebody? I do. So I'm going to give you a third item of value here. I'm giving it to you guys up front so you have the links here, because most of you are here in the beginning. And we're going to talk about this today, but here's the third item of value I put in the chat. And this is going to be kind of an example approach letter. So when you reach out to a business owner who you like to do co-marketing with and zero cost advertising, this is the general message. Now, just set those aside. We're going to get to them. I just want to give those links right away. Sound good? All right. So what Johnny brought up here earlier was, I think I can open by a story, is there is an agent who I have to give much credit for to the webinar today that you're all on, by the name of Chris Waters in Austin, Texas. He's the broker of Waters International Realty. I believe, I don't know the exact numbers, but probably upwards of near 1,000 home sales a year in Austin. And he decided to franchise his team model across the country. And who knows, some of you might be franchise owners of that. And he wrote a book. I actually wrote it with him. He came to my house and I interviewed him for 11 hours. A little funny story, by the way. It was 11 hours of like audio to get for the ghostwriter to help write it. And we got it transcribed. And there was a part like I fell asleep during the interview. And like the transcription was like snores from Frank. And then it was like, Chris says, Frank, are you asleep? Transcript says, Frank, no, I wasn't sleeping. Chris says, Frank, you were asleep. He said, it's funny. Sorry. All right. Anyways, the book is called The $1 Million Real Estate Team. And you can go to Amazon and pick up a copy of The $1 Million Real Estate Team. And there's a chapter in there called the Brand Ambassador Program. And the Brand Ambassador Program is essentially what we're talking about today, where you're the ambassador of someone else's business and their brand to your number one asset you have as a real estate professional. Can anyone guess what it is? What's your number one asset? I mean, you guys all know, you're muted. It's your database. It's your list of your past clients. It's your centers of influence. It's all the leads that you have in your CRM. It's all those relationships. And you got to have a way to stay in touch. And by the way, that's what Vyral does. We interview you on a webcam to help you stay in better touch with your database. You can go learn about that on our website. But once you start blogging, once you start sending out videos, once you stay in touch with your database, could you involve other businesses in those videos? Could you help promote other businesses with a coupon or an offer and an email out to your database? Could you help co-advertise and work together to create a piece of content where they promote it to your list and promote it to your list? Kind of that's where the direction we're heading today. Now, Chris Waters did that. And slowly but surely, he met one business owner, another business owner. He got a couple $100 a month, went to maybe $1,000 a month. And lo and behold, I believe, again, I don't know the exact numbers, but I believe in Austin, he has about 30 business owners on the program that are paying him, that he's dinging their cards every month for money, which then takes all of that money and spends it on advertising. I mean, at his level, billboards, radio, TV, whatever it may be. But the point is, when all those leads come in, he has an ethical and appropriate way. Let me say that again, an ethical, appropriate, and legal way. I'll add legal in there too, but I'm not an attorney. So let me say this before we go any further. I know the question in everyone's mind is RESPA. we're not going to talk about getting money from any business on a RESPA under RESPA today. So anyone that's on the settlement statement, mortgage, title, etc., I'm not asking you to go hit those individuals up for money. You can do it. You need to have an attorney. You need to have what's called a third-party valuation. There's certain rules with that. All right. But there's lots of businesses that are not on the settlement statement where that doesn't apply. Just more disclosure rules that you're getting paid for the referrals in some way, which you can put, and we'll talk about where maybe you had put those. But I just want to kind of address that up front. And where was I? I was on, before I went off on that tangent. Remind me, guys, real quick.
Surely he's built up this list.
Oh, so he's built up this list. He has 30 business owners paying him. And not only in his business, but across his franchise network, they all get collectively about $200,000 a month from local businesses that kind of chip in to the agent's marketing budget. So they can go generate movers, people who are moving, and then ethically and appropriately and legally, which you have to check with your attorney on that, especially if it's RESPA, kind of, move that business in their direction, so to speak. Fair enough? So let me just kind of open your eyes a little bit. You as a real estate agent, when you have the names and you know when people are going to move, that's a very valuable list. If you were to go to Google and type in a pre-mover list, that's the lingo. Go to Google, do it. Type in pre-mover list, and you will see all these companies, all these data companies selling it. Hey, we have a list of people that are moving. We have a people list that are buying a house. We have people that are going to be moving. And the way they get it is they just basically scrape a lot of the active listings off Zillow or something like that. Who knows? But they know they're going to be moving because when somebody moves, they spend a lot of money. Got it? And lots of moving companies and pet companies and schools and daycares, dentists purchase those lists. And some of the best prospects for you that to co-advertise with are the buyers of pre-mover lists online. So if you go Google a pre-mover list, it'll say, hey, we got pre-movers or people are gonna be moving. If you're in one of these industries, call us, we got these names and numbers. It's like $1 billion industry. Now, the thing is, you have that information before these companies even get it. You have that information upstream from the data companies. And there's a lot of businesses who would see value on that if people are going to move. So you're going, okay, wow, there's a market for my data. There's a market to know people who are going to be moving. Yep, proved it. Google it. People are selling it. Well, how much money does a home sale, how rich am I getting everyone else? Like how much money when I go out and risk my time, my energy, and my emotional state and prospecting and marketing dollars to get that home sale, how much money is flowing out to everyone else after that home trades? Well, I didn't put this together. NAR did. I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. You can Google this. This is state-by-state economic impact activity. And I can click on any state. Who are my friends in California? When you sell a home, the total economic impact is $171,000. I'm originally from Nebraska. Homes aren't that as expensive. $66,000. This is a cool link. I'm going to go ahead and take this link really quickly here, and you can go click on your state, and you can see how they calculate it. There's all this information on what is the economic impact, and they probably have a pretty wide way of how they calculate that. You're probably looking more narrow definition for what you need, but I digress. The point is I'm going to chat here. I'm going to put that link there. Sound good? I just want to open your mind that there's a market for the names of people who are going to move. And when people move, they spend a lot of money. Got it? In effect, you can set up structured programs to send customers to other business owners. Let me say that again. If there's something that you can take away from this webinar right now, we'll get to the worksheet here, is that you have the opportunity to systematically send customers to other businesses because you know when people have certain life events. And life events is when people spend money and they're looking to buy new products and services. If you go into Facebook and especially Google, there are specific audiences of life events and people spend a lot of money to get in front of those individuals. So just want to open your mind here a little bit with that. So you're going, okay, maybe I could go out and convince a business owner that's not on the settlement statement. which I'll give you a list, all right, that I'm a local real estate professional and I'm talking to buyers and sellers all day, and I have a database. I have a list of people who are buying a home, people who are selling a home. I have past clients and centers of influence. I'm taking listings. I'm talking to buyers. Wow, there's value there. Maybe I can set up a structured way to ethically and correctly and legally send that business or push that business in the direction of that business. The last thing I want to do to raise some limiting beliefs here is that you're not the only one playing the lead generation game. I was actually just talking to a solar company here in San Diego, and they pay about $250 per appointment. So if you were to go into the boom towns and the real geeks and the CRM companies and the whole world that you guys may know in solar, same thing. You're going to see the same coaches and trainers and lead gen companies and CRMs, Facebook ads, all the same. They're all playing the same game, and they're trying to generate leads and spend money for deals. If you go into any niche, you're going to see the same game being played. Every business is doing the same thing. They want to spend money to generate leads, to get appointments, to close sales. They have to know their cost per lead and their cost per appointment. Now, if you go to businesses that are already spending money on advertising, that's the key, because they want to grow. Maybe you could say, hey, give that some to me. I think I can help you. So hopefully we can open up your mind a little bit. So now what I want you to do is, now that we've kind of set the premise of the webinar today, is I'd like to give you tactically how to execute this. Hopefully at this point you're saying, you know what, I think I can set up some relationships with local businesses that are entrepreneurial and spending money on advertising. And I think there's a way to include them in my videos, promote them to my database, bring them up at closing, bring them up in new leads coming to my website, to push people in that direction. And in return, they'll pay me to proportionally be involved in my marketing some way, so I can get a little money from these different people. And I can use that capital to not pocket, but to go buy more leads that benefits all of us. Fair enough. So let's go ahead and pull up the worksheet. You guys got it? I'm going to put the link in here one more time if you just got here. And Johnny, it might be good for you as people kind of hop in to repost this link from time to time in the chat. Sound good? And I'll put the link right there for you guys. Sound good? All right. Now, let's talk about this. So this is, I grabbed the wrong worksheet. That's a different class. Here we go. All right. Number one, it all starts with a list of business owners. It starts with the who. It all starts with a list of business owners. You must build it, and it is the most painful part of the entire process. It's the worst part. Everything else is easy. Once you have the list, which is a written list of business owners and their names, and there's certain criteria to make that list, which I'll go over, it's all easy after that point. All right. So what exactly are you going to do for these business owners? Well, if you take a look at the contract that I sent you, it's all there. We'll get into that. But in essence, point number two here is you'll interview them for a feature on your blog. You can also send that video with a coupon or offer to your database, and even include a gift card to them at closing for your clients. Let me give you an example. For those of you who are Vyral clients, you get this. Once a month, you sit down your webcam and you record 2 quick educational videos talking about answering some commonly asked questions about real estate that go out to your database. We edit, optimize, send them out. It's not very hard to just include a business owner on Zoom, have a conversation like what we're doing, edit it up and send it out. Basically kind of tell the story of some local businesses to your database. And when you do that, in that email, put a coupon or an offer for response to that business. And almost like the emails you send to your database become like little Groupons, which is kind of cool. All right. We're going to go into that. In addition to that, when you close a transaction, you leave a little bouquet of gift cards to all your vendors on the table and saying, hey, welcome to the neighborhood, or you're moving. Here's a bunch of businesses that I have relationships with that I've secured some special deals for you. Go check them out. All right. Now, point 2A, and we're going to get deeper into number 2. So hang on here. Point 2A is when you're residually charging these business owners every month for money, which we'll get into the amounts that I recommend in a little bit. If it's just about how much business have you sent me lately, or how many leads have you sent me lately, your retention rate is just going to crash of people paying you every single month. It needs to be
Chris
more
said,
than that.
right? Chris said that when he started this, it was like he had a lot of turnover because he didn't have the relationships. They didn't see the value in it. It was
Correct.
very transactional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sizzle of I get to co-market with this agent. They're going to send me business. I get to be in their videos. They're going to promote me to their database is going to get them to sign up and probably last you about 90 days. But after that point, what's really going to keep the glue that sticks them around is the relationship. This is true for any professional services. All right. The profit is in the relationship. That's the margin. Okay. 2A is you'll get these business owners together from time to time for a mastermind, which is the glue holding it all together to keep your relationships alive at scale. So essentially, you'll be doing some co-marketing with them to promote them to your buyers and sellers, which we'll get into. I'll give you some of the basics in point 2. But really here is these business owners, again, they are all playing the same game as you. I want to know ideas. I want to know what other people are doing. I want to get motivated. I'd love to give you other business owners and trade ideas, right? They're also trying to get leads and get appointments, all right? You bringing those business owners together to mastermind them will be the glue that holds it together. And I will tell you this, and you won't believe me until this happens, but people will stay as a vendor partner of yours, an advertiser of yours, just for the mastermind, even if nothing else comes from it. All right. So let's keep going now. So we're going to have some deliverables that you're going to do for business owners to help co-advertise. And I recommend you're going to have to get them together probably in a one-to-many setting so it doesn't take up too much of your time to just share ideas of what's working across all businesses, to maybe trade ideas from different industries of how people can solve their problems. Now, without me going too depth into number 2 and how to hold a mastermind, let's move on to point number 3. So, okay, Frank, I need to build lists of business owners that can give me money. I got it. Where in the world do I even start? Okay. Well, first off, you have to think about the right criteria for a good business that will pay you. Most will not. I would say 96% will never pay you any money. Because from the stat that I know, and again, I'm pretty sure this is correct, less than 4% of all businesses ever do more than $1 million in revenue. I'm sorry, only 4% or more. I'm sorry, only 4% of all businesses do over $1 million in revenue. It's not profit, it's top line. All right. Which is kind of like the entry level to be like kind of like a good solid business. It's probably $1 million a year, I'd say. All right. So 96% probably don't have the money to pay you. And when you talk to them, they're going to say, well, I work by referral only. I don't pay for business. I work only by referrals. That probably means this is not an individual that understands the game of buying leads and converting them and knowing cost per lead and like growing a business through advertising. It's a jump you have to make to get to that level. So here's what you're looking for. 2A is it needs to be a high margin business. A dog walker is not a high margin business. Insurance, especially maybe some of the guys just selling very basic insurance, can be a pretty low margin business. It just depends, but just keep in mind a high margin business. 3B rather, is complementary to real estate. And by complementary to real estate is if you Google pre-mover lists, take a look at all the businesses that purchase them. And those are all really good industries that you can take a look at, that you go after. 3C, in my opinion, is the most important one. I probably should have put this first, but they're spending money on marketing and they want to grow. All right. Number 3, it's somebody who you currently give business or money to. So it's someone who you've written checks to or is a current vendor of yours and you have an existing relationship with. And 3E, it's a larger company with resources to spend. Okay. So Frank, what do you mean? Well, if you go to point 5, I have a bunch of businesses here on point 5 that I'll go into that meet pretty much that criteria for the most part. All right. Before we get there, let's talk about this. You're going to be much better. What I'd recommend that you do is sit down and look at all of your deals, all the homes that you help people buy or sell, and figure out who's making money off of them. Is there a fencing company? I know in Texas, foundation issues, nonstop. Maybe solar is one, maybe here in San Diego if you're in certain markets. What are probably some higher margin businesses that, man, I really have been using this vendor, or these individuals have been coming into these homes. Landscaping, if you sell more of an affluent area and landscapers come in, you know what I'm saying? I'd really go through your transactions and use that as a memory jogger to figure out what businesses have been making money off of these homes. All right. Then I would just start thinking about, okay, who do I write checks to? Who are people that we pay that would love to get in front of other homeowners? And I would start trying to build a list that way of some people that you currently have a relationship with in some way. Okay. Once you exhaust your existing relationships, then you have to go in cold. And that's going to take some time to kind of build that up a little bit, to build some trust and rapport. You know, the typical sales process of build rapport, earn trust, then identify needs and recommend solutions. You know, you can pretty much go into someone you knew already and just give them the pitch. Whereas if they don't know you, you have to spend time on dinners and wine and drinks and get to know the person. Then you can make the pitch. It just makes it a little more efficient if they know you. Follow me? That's how sales works. You guys all know that. At least, I'm sorry, that's at least how B2B sales work. It's much more relationship driven generally than B2C selling, which is kind of more transactional driven, generally speaking. So let me share that a little bit. One of the limiting beliefs and challenges you'll have with doing something like this, you'll have to go talk to a business owner. That's incredibly intimidating. Or you're going to have to go talk to a business owner that runs probably a pretty successful business, like a car dealership or furniture store. Very intimidating if you've never done it before. But think about it. Maybe your first listing was $100,000. That scared you. Then you got like a $200,000 listing. You're like, $500,000 listing. And then $1 million listing. And you realize, gosh, these higher priced ones are easier. Right? You know? And it lifts those limiting beliefs, and you realize that, you know, that people are people. And I think what you can do here, John, you have something you want to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, so I've only been doing this for, I think, 2 weeks now since I first saw your program. What I've noticed is that the benefit to experienced agents is that you're leveling up and you're increasing your circle. So if you're only associating with maybe gardeners and stuff, and now all of a sudden you're dealing with car dealerships and furniture stores, now all of a sudden you're leveling up your sphere, who you're interacting with, right? And those clients, people that own the furniture stores, people that own the dealerships, and they got some houses they need to sell, right? And those houses are in different price points. So you're leveling up. And then if you're new to the area, because a lot of agents have been asking me that, Frank, like, what do I do if you're new to the area? Well, you're networking with local businesses. You're getting your name out there. And these are people that are gonna, if you have a good, if you leave a positive impression, they're likely to refer you business as you create that relationship. So you're creating your own economy. So this is great for seasoned agents, and it's great for new agents or new to the area agents. Just wanted to throw that in there.
It's intimidating what I'm asking you to do.
Absolutely.
No doubt. I want to address that right now. It's very intimidating to go to a business that meets the criteria of 3A through E, high margin, complementary business, spending money on marketing. You're just going to have to build, you feel that power distance. You're just going to have to build your confidence and do it. It's the only thing I can say. I think what you'll find is it's easier because they have money. It's harder when people don't. So I just want to share that with you. So you're going to target businesses with money. So, okay, so let's say you kind of exhaust your existing relationships. Let me give you a couple quick strategies off the top of my head to maybe build a list of business owners who are good prospects. So again, we'll get into the industries here on the next page, which is point 5. Financial advisors, furniture stores, car dealerships, HVAC, foundation repair, general contractor, home builders, insurance, dentist, property management, family law, maid service, daycare, pool, solar, moving company, yada, yada, right? Here's what I would do. I would go get the newspaper. Yep, the old newspaper. Go to 7-Eleven, whatever it is that you have around you. Go buy the paper and look at all the ads, because these are businesses spending money on newspapers that are trying to reach homeowners straight up. And they probably know the economics of lead generation and the economics of cost per lead and response. Circle those ads, great prospects to talk to. Sound good? The next thing you do is just Google it. Google any of those industries in your city, and you'll probably find players spending money on AdWords. You know, the ads that pop up on top of Google, those are good money. Those are some good businesses to target. You could probably just also go on Yelp. Take a look at who has a lot of reviews, maybe who's paying for Yelp ads, who's kind of seems like they're doing well, and look at Yelp for Yelp reviews, and you build some prospects that way. You can also pay attention to television ads. One of the things that I did back in the day, this is a long time ago, is I hired a VA to listen to the radio and write down everybody who is advertising on the radio during morning and evening, which are the most expensive slots, and write down everyone who's advertising on television. And those are all the prospects to sell ads to because they're spending money on advertising. All right. Those are the types of people that you want to talk to that are looking to grow and are spending money. So let's say you build this list. Let me see if we want to jump around here a little bit. Let's jump over to 5.5 before 0.4 here. Let's go through some example businesses now. Financial advisors. In California, home prices, well, in most coastal markets, home prices have just like skyrocketed, right? And when people sell their home, they're sitting on a pile of money that probably has tax issues. And they're probably older. Those are like the exact people financial advisors want to get in front of. And if you go talk to maybe like more of the quote unquote brand wise, more higher tier financial advisors, probably your Morgan Stanleys or in my mind, Merrill Lynch's or whatever that around that take kind of like a percentage of assets under management. Those are the individuals to build relationships with. And in those industries, they only spend money on two things. They spend money on client mixers and they spend money on strategic relationships. And I'm sure every single one of those financial advisors would love to have a realtor like you that they can work with to co-advertise with. Sound good? Stay away from fee-based. The ones that just charge a flat fee, there's not much margin there. Those are generally your registered investment advisors. You want to go after the ones that take a percentage of assets under management. All right. A furniture store. Pretty straightforward. People who buy furniture, they have a lot of money. They spend a lot of, let's go back. Hang on.
They've been waiting.
Hold on. It actually is a high margin business. It's complementary to real estate. They probably buy new mover lists. They're probably spending money on marketing. Maybe you shopped there and you're a customer and they're a larger company, resources to spend. I think a furniture store fits that just perfect. All those things in 0.3, right? Yeah. What were you going to say, John?
I was going to say, and a lot of people have been putting off some of these purchases till after they close on the house because they don't want to mess up their debt to income or they're safe. They don't know how much repairs are going to have to come in or what their down payment's going to look like. But now they close, they have an extra $5,000. They're heading to a furniture store to fill up that house. Car
dealerships are some of the easiest money you can get. They know the game. They know advertising. The car dealerships get a lot of money to zero cost marketing this way. So there's lots of, if you understand how car dealerships work, there's lots of other businesses pitching in. Figure out where you bought your car. I would start. So figure out where you purchased your car and go talk to them there. Hey, I bought a car here. I love it. I'm a realtor. I like to tell everyone to come buy a car here. Is there some way where I can, some type of offer or something special I can help them to come in here and bring to come do a test drive or check out a car? All right. HVAC companies, they make a lot of money on their subscription memberships. That's really where they want to go, is they charge like an annual fee for maintenance. You can call them up. The annual service plans are worth a lot. Foundation repair is huge. Again, we deal with this all the time in Texas. Huge transaction value. You can build some relationships with those companies. A general contractor, you can't even find them now. Because inventory is so low, they're in such high demand. You having a relationship with the general contractor, because you're probably going to talk to a lot of people where it's like, well, I refinanced my house. I'm locked into my low rate. If I were to sell, there's really no place for me to go. But my house is too small because I'm stuck here with COVID. Because I need, it's not my gym, it's not my school, right? My spouse is driving me nuts. I want my own room, my own man cave, she shed. All right. General contractor. Sound good? Title and mortgage, you guys, there's may or may not be money. If you do go after title or mortgage, I recommend you lean on the in-house counsel. So the mortgage or title company will generally have like an on-staff attorney, and just ask them. You'd be surprised. It's probably some of the easiest money you can get for mortgage and you lean on the in-house counsel to set up the MSA agreement. The biggest thing is just you're not paying for referrals, you're paying to co-advertise. And that's where the marketing services agreement comes in. There's a lot of consultants out there who can help you just do a Google search and to put those agreements together. All right. Home builders. Stay away from the custom guys. There might, in your market, it depends where you are, but where they're kind of building like middle or kind of more volume houses. Especially where people are trading up, maybe where they're selling their home to move into more of a kind of a custom built home. You could probably send people their way. Insurance, the independent shops. So your state farms aren't going to give you money, but the ones that decide to start their own insurance agencies that represent all insurance, kind of like the mortgage brokers that represent kind of all the mortgage options versus someone that works directly in-house for a mortgage company. Those are the people that will give you money. Dentists, when you go to dental school and you have two options. You can go work for somebody and hopefully stay there forever and take over their book of business. Or you kind of go borrow a lot of money and you start your own practice and they teach you to get a new mover list. Actually, when I moved here, I got a handwritten note from the owner of a really nice high-end breakfast place here with a coupon. Like the owner actually wrote me a handwritten note saying, welcome to the area. They probably got my name from a new mover list and said, come on in my restaurant and here's the deal. I was like, this is so cool. Looks like a marketer, family law, divorce cases. I run into people that probably need to sell, or I kind of delicately know this, and I can refer you. There's an individual by the name of Laurel Starks. If you Google Laurel Starks, she specializes in teaching you everything you want to know about how to deal with divorce situations. Maid services, charities. Charities is not about the money. They have huge lists. Okay. So if you were to interview a charity about what they're doing for the community and they were to email it out and promote it to their massive list, you'll find a lot of people in that list, they believe in the cause and they see you associated with cause and they hire you because of that. Okay. So charities, I wouldn't ask them for money. I would just kind of interview them and maybe help tell their stories on your video blog. But remember, they have huge databases where if you get them to mail on it, you get some really good co-advertising. Okay. Daycare, pool and solar, moving company, home inspector. I mean, it's a little rest, but family doctor, plumber, closet systems, credit repair, painter. The list goes on, doesn't it? These are all business owners that if they meet the criteria in point 3, you should approach them. Okay. So here's the deal. You start with a couple of names, guys. I gave you kind of a wide thing here, but you're like, you know what, Frank, this is some good stuff. I'm digging what you're saying. I got 3 names. Great. I don't maybe have a name for all of these. This is a bit much for me right now, but I was able to write down 3. Perfect. All right. So now you're going to have to call them up. You're going to have to email them, text them, wrap it to a carrier pigeon and fly it over to them. Put it into FedEx. I don't care what media you use, but you need to reach out to this business owner with this such simple message. Are you ready for the message that's going to get them to just light up like a skylight? Like, oh, I can't wait to talk to you. Oh, that's just a puzzle piece of a message that just opens me up here. Here's the message. I can send you customers. I have a plan to send you customers. Do you want to meet? I sell homes. I'm an agent here. I believe I can send you customers. I have people who need your services. I want to set something up to send them to you. Can we meet? That's it. Let's say it again. It's like we should all chant, Johnny. I can send you customers. Let's say it. That's it.
I can send you customers.
That's it. That's the key message. Now we'll round it out a little bit. But let me just kind of give you an example. Now, this is a letter. It could be you just calling the person up you start with your Mets, right? You start with the people you know in the businesses. We're just going to call them up with a general message of, I can send you customers. Would you like to meet? That's it. All right. So let me kind of go back now to, I'm going to post in here kind of the example vendor lead generation letter, or the message, so to speak, that I would use to reach out. I'll read it to you. Okay. Hey, business owner. Hey, Pat, you know, I know we've done business together and you've done a few deals on some of our transactions. You know, you may not know this, but we sold X number of homes in the past 12 months, and we currently have X number of active listings. Look, the reason I'm calling you, the reason I'm emailing you, the reason I'm sending this bomb video, the reason I'm, you know, texting you, whatever, the reason I'm knocking on your door, you know, is because I'd like to send you customers. Got it? What I like to do is I like to leave a gift certificate to your business at my expense at every one of my closings. My clients will likely redeem it with my encouragement so you can track the sales. Honestly, I'm just looking to build a deeper relationship with a local financial planner, a local plumber, a local dentist who I can work with closely to send essentially personal referral business. Can we meet? Can we speak briefly on the phone? My cell number is this. I like to get to know you better and explain my plan. Look, I'd like to list you on my website. I like to maybe interview you for my podcast. That's kind of a more open term to kind of maybe just do a little interview on a video with them and send it out. I like to promote you in my emails. I like to refer you to every new buyer and seller. I like to invite you into my team meetings to build relationships with my agents if you're a broker or a team leader, and even send you a list of our closings every month, which, by the way, is public information. So you can call them and get more customers. You know, new movers, and there's data for this in your area, but new movers here spend $10,000 locally in 3 months, if not more. These stats are out online. You can find them. Please call me. Like, when you get this, I want to send you customers. You know, you're the only dentist I'd like to work with, for example. You know, what I'd like to do is I'd like to send an interview about what you do, or answer one of the most commonly asked questions that you deal with as a dentist, let's say, to my buyer and homeowner list right away, my database, even along with a gift certificate I'll have designed so you can track the new business. You know, you can learn all about me. Maybe our professional B2B relationship isn't that deep right now, but you can go to my website, or for my Vyral customers, my video blog, to see who I am and all about me. You know, here's our reviews. I look forward to getting to know you better and working together if you think we're a fit. Sincerely, your name. What do you think, Johnny?
Freaking love it. Do you mind if we share that? I have a
Yeah, I put a chat in the I put it in the chat.
Oh, that's the chat. That's okay.
Yeah, that's a letter. So I basically kind of read you a letter you could mail, but don't get caught up in a letter. It could be a phone call. It could be an email. It could be, I don't care how you deliver the message. It could be just like literally talking to them.
What I'm having more success with, especially on the cold calls, is calling them, emailing them, and then just showing up and saying, "Hey, I sent you an email."
Yeah, and here's the deal. Sure, you know, this is all going to depend upon the relationship. If there's an existing relationship, it's like a text. Hey, bro, I want to send you some customers. When can we grab a beer? Or like, when can we talk on Zoom because of COVID? Sure, call me in 15 minutes.
I have a cigar appointment on Thursday with a security guy. He's like,
yeah, perfect. You know,
hey, smoke a cigar, let's talk. He's like,
yeah. If the relationship is there, it's gonna be a quick text, a quick phone call. If the relationship is not there, you're gonna have to go through the song and dance of getting the attention and earning the trust to get the appointment, which we all kind of understand. All right, but for the most part, I want to say this again. I'm reaching out because I want to send you customers, and be confident that you can deliver on it. And I'll show you how in the agreement. Sound good? So let's go back. Where am I? Now, there's many marketing weapons that you could use to reach out to somebody. Let me give you my favorite. All right. So if I'm trying to reach out to a business owner in a B2B space and trying to get their attention, certainly I'd make a call, voicemail. Certainly I'd send an email, no response. I don't know. Send a letter or whatever. Nothing gets back to you, right? Let me tell you my preferred method to get response. All right. It starts with a phone call or email. This is if it's a little colder relationship in a B2B environment. It starts with a phone call and the email that's very honest, saying, here's who I am. Here's what I want to do. I want to send you customers. I'm sending you more information by FedEx because it's important and I want you to see it and stand out. I called your office. I confirmed this is your best mailing address. Let me know otherwise. you'll likely have it in about 6 days or 3 days, let's say. It's FedEx. Great, no response. Now go to FedEx, put letter or message in FedEx, put their email and getting the tracking updates, and choose every single tracking update that you could possibly get. So like when it's shipped, it arrives at the facility and it's out for delivery, they're just constantly getting blown up, the business owner. All right. FedEx arrives. They call this in marketing like a shock and awe package. You know, it has maybe whatever, it has the letter, but you throw some other stuff in there. I don't know. You get notified when they get it, maybe request a signature. So you got to pull them out of their office meeting and they got to sign for it.
Get you. You're that
How
guy.
savage is this, right?
Yeah.
You saw they signed for it. You follow up saying you got the package. I'd like you to take a look and we'll review it. I'll follow up in a couple of days. Now you follow up and say, would you like to meet? So it's kind of that process that you have to go through when there's not a relationship. That's probably one of my preferred ways. Like financial advisors, they follow that process. What they'll do is they'll get a list of accredited investors, net worth $1 million or $250,000 a year or something like that. And they'll send out 50 books a week like that to get appointments for moving all your money over to their asset management. All right. So anyways, I want to jump back really quick to point number 4. I recommend if the relationship isn't strong, call, email, and FedEx them to request a meeting about how you can work together for, are you ready, Johnny, to help them get more customers? All right. We're about 50 minutes in. I have a lot more. I mean, I want to set aside 2 hours this so I can go really deep. Let's take your temperature, guys. How are we doing in the chat? Are we hanging in there? There's a lot of information
money,
here.
nice, 100%. There's a question. Somebody wanted to know what's better, video, email, or phone call?
Oh, everything.
Short answer is everything. Whatever you use is what I would recommend. Like if you're not
phone call is the most important, so make sure you call. That, in my opinion, in a B2B environment, you email so they get the message, but calling adds urgency to the email so they actually pay attention to it. In my opinion. All right.
What I've been doing is I've been calling them, and sometimes it's hard to get through the gatekeeper, and so I always ask for the gatekeeper's name. So if it's like Lauren, I'll say, "Hey, Lauren." She's like, "Hey, this is Lauren with ABC." Like, "Hey, Lauren, thanks so much. Who do I need to talk to about
sending you customers,
sending you more business?" She's
yeah,
like,
I'm an agent,
that's so.
And I need to speak with somebody about sending you business. Who can I talk to?
Exactly, and then they're like, "Oh, well, they're in a meeting, or they're not available, or they left for the day." I said, "Great. What's their? Can you connect me to them?"
Yeah.
And then they'll send. What's their email? And then when I send so I leave a voicemail on their line, and then when I send them the email in the bar, I said, "Lauren said I should talk to you," or "Lauren said I should email you." And
the internal referral from someone in the organization to you.
How does he know Lauren? So there's a little tip for you guys.
That's good. Let's go over 3A through E really quick before we move on. 3A, it's a high margin business. 3B, the business is complementary to real estate. 3C, they are spending money on marketing. They want to grow. They understand the game. They're not, I work by referral only. Never pay you. 3D, someone you give business or money to. There's an existing relationship. It'll make things easy. No relationship, you have the song and dance. All right. 3E, larger company with resources to spend. If it hits that criteria, that goes on the list. All right. So I covered point number 4. Let's now go to point number 5. I share with you a whole bunch of businesses that you would take this list of businesses, again, the financial advisors, the furniture store, the car dealership, and kind of run it through the filter of everything in 3A through E to make your list, right? And then you're reaching out in some way. You get to choose the recipe of that, but I want to meet with you about sending you customers, okay? So let me go a little bit deeper on how to build that list again. I'm going to go a little bit more niche on this, okay? So I think we covered point number 6. Point number 6 is make a list of all the businesses who have made money from your transactions. Go through each of your past transactions. It's a good place to start with warmer relationships than cold. It'll be a lot less expensive and time consuming to get the appointment. Number 7 is you can also post on Facebook too. I think you'd be surprised. If you just go on your Facebook, I mean, you can probably just do this right now. Hey, a lot of people are moving. Real estate's one of the industries probably, least affected by COVID from a people are buying and selling houses standpoint. It's an industry that's doing relatively well if you're paying attention to the news. Home prices are up, inventory is low, people are moving. And when people move, I have a lot of people that are moving that need to purchase new products and services. If you're looking for new customers, would you post below? Because I might be able to send them to you. Sound good?
It's free. It's free. And you can do this on like the local site too, because you're providing the value.
Yeah, it's just kind of a way to, they're connected to you on Facebook. It's a good way to memory jog, right? Again, when you start getting insecure about reaching out to a business owner, you probably heard me emphasize it. I want to send you customers. Doesn't that make it easier in the messaging? I want you guys to really internalize that. That's the key phrase you're going out for co-marketing. Now, let me give you a couple of options. You're eventually going to have to find the contact information of these business owners. So I'm going to tell you how to sleuth them down. You guys ready? I mean, I'm going to give you some really savage stuff. So I'll let you know how far you want to take this. Sound good? But I know this game really well. So pay attention. We'll have some fun. Okay. So let's say you get a list of business owners or businesses, right? But you can't find the owner. So you try to find the owner. So here's what I would do. I would look up the business on Yelp, or I would Google the business and look at their webpage. And probably the first thing I would do is look at the About Us section or the Our Company section. And hopefully the name of the owner or the name of the decision maker, is going to be right there. Oh, great. All right. You go to the website, name of the owner, 8 there. Darn it. Next step, 8C, call the business. Hey, I'm looking for the name of the owner of this business. Now you have 2 options here. One is I want to set up a relationship to send you customers. Who's the decision maker with that? Who writes the checks? All right. You can probably get through that way. Let me give you another, a secondary message just to get contact information. I'm calling about a PR opportunity. I want to interview the business owner to get a message out, basically on my website and to our list. Just what's their name and contact information so I can send them more details. It's a PR opportunity. Got it? And which it certainly is. You're not lying. You want to interview them to get them out to your list. But going in with like a PR opportunity phrase, again, you're not looking for a transfer, so to speak with them. Let them know, hey, I'm not looking to speak with them. I just need to know who it is so I can reach out to the right person. Sound good? And the receptionist will probably, or whoever answers the phone might be able to provide that to you. Sound good? All right. All right. Well, still they give it to you. All right. Let's keep going. Now we got to find the legal name of the business because chances are you're dealing with the trade name and this isn't really the legal name of the business. So here's my favorite tip. On every website, there's probably a privacy policy or a terms of service, like down the bottom, like privacy policy. Click that. And those are legal agreements. And they usually use the legal name of the business in the privacy policy. All right. So now I actually have the legal name of the business. So now what I do is I go over to opencorporates.com and type in the name of the LLC. Have fun, everybody. Go to opencorporates.com, type in the name of your LLC or your company. It'll pop up, most likely. And there's your name and all the other members and all the legal incorporation documents. And it's probably there. If it's not on Open Corporates, you go to the Secretary of State's website and you do a business search for the name of that company, and it'll probably be there because maybe Open Corporates didn't index it yet. And there's the name of the owner. Now, there are ways for them to bury themselves at that point, but when you start getting into that level, I think the business is probably too large at that point to probably get any money from. All right. Now, let's say that through this process, you find the name of the business owner, you find the name of the dentist, you find the name of the target. All right. I was in a relationship early on with my girlfriend that worked in pharmaceutical sales. And to get through to the doctors, you were just dead in the water mailing the office. So we mailed them at home. So how did you find the doctor's or business owner's home address? Well, I'll tell you, chances are they're a homeowner. So now that you have the individual's name, you go to the county assessor's website, type it in. Chances are that's the name on the deed. You now have their home address. Skip trace the home address. You have their home phone number.
That's ninja. What do you use to skip trace?
Oh, there's a whole bunch of them. I don't know. You can go to Fiverr. Go to Fiverr, type in skip tracer. Someone will figure it out. Skip Genie. The one that I really love is a service. You have to use it correctly because some of the stuff is regulated by the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Microbuilt has a service called Enhanced People Search. That's really good. Ivy Data. A lot of investors use batchskiptrace.com. Even like Vulcan 7, if you use like a Vulcan 7 dial, they have a data append. What you're really looking for is a data append service. Whereas skip tracing is basically skip tracing is it's actually a profession. It's like, hey, this guy skipped out on their debt. So I have to trace them down and use public records and figure out where this guy is so we can get him. That's what it comes from. They skipped on their debt. You have to find the skip, right? So it's really more, skip tracing is more of like it's an actual thing you spend hours doing to find them. Really what I'm talking about is probably just going to a data append service where it's like, look, I got this address. I need phone numbers, and you can get it that way. All right.
Got it.
So I'll give you point number 9. There is another option here to find names of business owners. Is you can go to a data company. I'll give you 2 of my favorite. Number 9 is you can go to sl360.com or melissa.com, MELISSA. So that's sl360.com or Melissa. And every business. So if I were to take any of these businesses here, financial advisors, furniture stores, car dealerships, HVAC, they're all assigned a standard industry code or a North American industry code. SIC or NAICS code. Every industry has a very special number. So if I wanted to purchase a list of every single dentist in the county, I would find out what a small practice dentist SIC code is or NAICS code is, and I would go to a data company. They'll sell it to me. B2B data is not regulated at all. I mean, you just buy what it's all for sale. B2C is a little more regulated, but a data company can probably buy it for you. They probably know what they're spending on advertising too. So you can also just purchase a list. So I literally could, if I just really wanted to be crazy, I would go to a data company and say, sell me a list of the names, contact information of all the business owners in all these industries that do at least $1 million a year in business. Purchased. Great. Let's start building some relationships. Sound good?
Fantastic. So
All right.
we do have a couple questions. Do you mind if we pop those in?
Sure, absolutely. Let's take a little break. We've been about an hour.
So Kevin's wondering if you're an agent who doesn't have a lot of business yet or doesn't have a blog, how do you show potential co-advertising partners?
That's a great question. Great question. It's like how anyone starts anything. It's what's going to happen. I have nothing, but through my energy and my passion and my enthusiasm, that probably really rubs off on other. I mean, come on, every single one of you here would just fall over flattered of someone that's brand new in the business, just showing up with energy and exuberance and motivation and confidence to do something for you. And out of sheer seeing yourself in them when you get started, you would just give them money. Right? Because it's just how it is. So I think out of your sheer confidence, that's how Chris started too. If you go into a story a little bit deeper, is saying, look, here's how I will use the money and here's what's going to happen. Here's what I'm planning on doing with it. And I will be bringing home sales in, and you have to show up with that energy, passion, enthusiasm, and confidence to be able to land the sale. And until then, in the meantime, you can still run a mastermind and they'll see if there's some value in that. Mm-hmm. The smaller businesses will attend your mastermind. The larger ones probably won't. Like, I don't think the furniture store owner or the car dealership owner is going to really care. They're going to be like, here's some money in my pocket to get out of here. Okay. For your $500 or whatever a month. But from the probably the more regular businesses would be happy to be involved in something like that with you.
Frank, have you seen the show? It just started, The Undercover Billionaire. It's on Discovery. You heard
Is that
about
where they start over from scratch?
So these are high net worth individuals, and they strip them down to just $100, a car, and a cell phone with no contacts, right? And they drop them into a community that they've supposedly never been before.
I did watch that. Yeah, I watched one.
Right. So guys, if you're listening to this, I would suggest watching that. It's on Discovery Plus. It blows my mind. These people, they don't know anybody, but they just walk in and they have this energy.
Yeah, I watched it. He flipped a car, found some tires on Craigslist, then he flipped a car, then he flipped a house.
Yeah.
He has capital going on.
So they did it with Glenn Stearns, and now they're doing it with like Grant Cardone and a couple other people. But how this plays into this brand ambassador program is these guys don't know them, and they're getting them to front them money. They're getting them to let them stay at their house. They're getting them to help.
Johnny, that's incredibly insightful. You guys all need to go. What's the program called?
It's Undercover Billionaire, and it's on Discovery.
And it's very real. It's not staged. You can tell like the stuff they run into is legit. And I thought it was a really good done. And it really you take somebody that has nothing, and they're in like, just totally broke in a new city, knowing no one, and the entire sale is made on confidence and enthusiasm. So there you go. That's my answer to you. What's another question we have, Johnny?
Another question was, what's the average amount that we should be asking these vendors?
Got it. Okay. So let's pull up the contract. So it's time for the contract. Okay. Chat. Here we go, everyone. Okay. So let's say you get this appointment. Let's talk about how the appointment goes. Hey, business owner. Thanks for meeting with me. Gotcha. I think it's my trap. Right? Now that you can't get rid of me. I don't know much about your business. So I like to do, it's all right. I don't think we've ever maybe really talked much about what's going on in your business, but like the whole premise of this meeting is I wanted to send you customers, but I don't really know much about you. So I like to learn a little more about you first. I mean, when did you start your business? Cool. Who's your perfect fit client? Who's your perfect customer? Who are your most profitable customers? Where does your business come from? What's working well in your marketing? What's not working well? What would you want to improve? If I were to send you business, how would you like me to send it to you? Okay. This is a good number to know too. What's a customer worth to you? Do you have any idea maybe what you would pay for a customer?
That's good right there.
You have to kind of work your way up to that one. That if they know the answer to that, you're dealing with a pro. All right. Do you know what you're willing to pay for a customer? Like what's a client worth to you over 5 years? See where we're heading here? Okay. Got it. All right. Well, I sell a lot of real estate, or I plan on selling a lot of real estate. I make a couple hundred calls a day, or I have these people that make calls. I do open houses, run some Facebook ads, doing these Google AdWords. And basically, I'm getting the names and contact information in this database, as you can see here. Here's my CRM of all these people that are thinking about buying or selling a house. And it's really, really hard to get that. It takes a lot of time. I have a lot of people yelling at me when I cold call. It's really hard. Or, I have to spend a lot of money on advertising and do relentless follow-up to like make this stuff happen, because the reality is there's pretty much a set number of homes that are on sale, and all the agents are fighting over it. And I'm trying to get my own unfair share of it over to me. So I have to outmarket and outspend them and outwork them. That's what I have to do. All right. And that's how I get my business. But here's the deal. What I realized is when I help these people buy or sell a home, they buy a new car. You're talking to a dealership, or they need a new dentist. You're talking to a dentist, or they have all this money now because they've owned their home for 30 years in California. Financial advisor. You digging this? Hold on, let's keep going. This is fun. Oh, they don't want to sell their home, and they just refinance their house and have hundreds of thousands of dollars, like add a second floor to a general contractor. This is fun. Why am I having so much fun saying this? Because what's so fun about it is because what I said right there is you got them, right? That's why that line's fun. All right. But
we start turning, you see their eyes when you're looking at their face, they're like, And,
or property manager, they don't want to sell it, they want to rent it. I'm talking to these people all the time. I'm in front of these people all the time. I would like to send them to you. Wow, Frank, that'd be great. I know, but it costs me a lot of money to get them. And that's why I'm here today. Sound good? So I have a proposal for you. Let me pull up the agreement here. I like to pitch you on the idea of giving me money. Can you hang in there while I ask you this? So let me just read this to you. So I would love for you to work with me. I essentially have a plan to send you business with some proper co-advertising with my real estate office. We'll work together to make sure buyers, sellers, and everyone in my email list and social following and maybe people I talk to knows about you and redeems the gift certificate that we come up with so you can track the new business that comes in from me. I mean, that's important, isn't it, Johnny? There we go. Say yes, that's right. There we go. Yep.
That's it.
We're going to have fun here with the sales. We're going to have some fun with the sales presentation. I'm sure we can all enjoy this. Now, I cannot make specific promises of the business you'll receive, but we'll work together to make sure it's as much as possible so you see a return on investment. That is what you want, isn't it, Johnny? So here's the deal. The annual fee to be my vendor partner is $12,000 a year. I'm essentially looking for $1,000 a month. Now, I'm going to take that money and give it to Google. I'm going to take that money and give it to Facebook. I'm going to take basically half of it and give it to Vyral marketing. I'm going to take your money and I'm a flow through entity. It's all going to go to ads. So I get the leads of people who want to buy and sell, which are going to go to you. All right. Now, what I want to do is you have no idea if it's even worth 12 grand right now because we haven't done this. So I'm going to discount it 50% for the first year. So I would like $6,000 a year or $500 a month to prove my value. You can cancel anytime. And if we go 90 days, and this is totally a joke, I'll give you all your money back. All right. We're going to disclose to every consumer that you're a paid advertiser, and they're certainly not required to use your services as a condition of working with me. You'll work with your attorney to get that language. It's not that big of a deal. That will probably go in your buyer agency agreement or your seller agreement up front where it's like, look, I'm taking money from people that may or may not refer you to. All right. So you always want to disclose that. You'll be the only business in your industry on this program. And here's what you'll get as my vendor partner. Hang on. I think I might have a little one that needs me. Nope, I do not. Okay. So here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to get you and my other vendor partners together maybe 4 times a year. The reality is people that are doing this, maybe pretty smart business owners like you. I think we all get together and share because we're all playing the same game here of like getting customers and converting them to sales and upselling them and getting referrals. I think we share a lot of ideas. So I get everyone together in the program 4 times a year, either in person or probably now on Zoom for a little business owner mastermind. I like to share what's working now. We'll pitch it. I'll spend 20 minutes. What's working for lead gen, what's working for sales presentations, what's working for marketing, technology, and hiring. I like to give you a little hot seat where you can ask the room a question. Everyone will answer your question and you'll get some solid face time with business owners. I mean, kind of a cool story you can share is like, I had a home builder in my group and he was like a steak dinner to the roofer. It kind of turns, the business you might get from the mastermind can be a lot more than maybe what I could ever even send you. So you probably should go network with some business owners and I can make that happen for you. Now with that, I'd like to invite you for a little guest spot on my blog 4 times a year. So I want to interview you about your business, anything, answering a question people ask about, do I really need a service plan or how do I inspect my HVAC or what are the best furnace filters to use, whatever. I'll post to my blog, my Facebook, I'll email it to my database with a gift certificate to you, which we have to come up with so you can track business. I got to have a way to, when I send these things out, to track the response back to you. We could do the interview on the phone to keep it simple. You don't have to be on video. You'll also be provided with a link to share the interview with your email list if you want to. That'd be like super sweet. Okay. Basically, it's my job to present you in the best way. I am a marketer. I'm a real estate agent. That's what people pay me. All right. And you'll answer questions customers ask you all the time about your product and service. And look, I'll make sure it's search optimized. I'll do a nice job. I'd like you to be on my show. Sound good? Great. Now, this is the big one. I'm going to design a little gift certificate that you're going to improve. It could be for a discount, a free add-on, a buy one, get one, a free consultation. I honestly don't care, whatever you want. We'll work on that, but whatever it is, it'll go on my website. It's going to be displayed on my website in all its glory under my vendor partner page with all about you. And at every single closing, I'm going to leave it.
Not preferred vendor. I got
Yeah,
my
that is
hands
correct.
up for that one.
That's
Not
true.
preferred
So
vendor.
I won't go into some, there's some very detailed language that I've learned as I kind of played in the legalities of everything. We want to try to stay away from any steering language. Anytime it's a preferred vendor or here's my chosen vendors, it's really just like a vendor. You can choose whoever you want. You're not required. You just want to do whatever you can to stay away from steering language. That's my best advice that I've heard.
Here's a local
vendor.
CPA.
Yeah. That is, yeah. Here's a CPA. I like them. There are many like them, but this one is mine. There you go.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just felt like
that's for all my Marines in here. Yeah. All right. So let's see here. So it will also be mailed to the buyer. Look, you can read this. Let's keep going. Now, I also have a photographer that takes pictures of my houses. It costs me like $100. I'm going to send my photographer out to your business because I looked at your business. Your pictures are terrible. So I'm going to get some pictures taken of your business so it looks good when I send people there. And I'm also going to create a little profile up on my website with your gift certificate that features you well because I want to present you in the best possible way. It's not that big of a deal for get some pictures taken of you because I want to create a local business feature page on my website because my website gets a lot of traffic. I'm going to feature my vendor page in all of its glory. All right. And I'm going to include your gift certificate there. Pretty cool. I'll keep going. I'll send you a list of all my closings every single month. Feel free to call them saying that you worked with me. There's no privacy issues there because it's public record. Here's everyone I closed a house with. They just moved here. Go get them, Tiger. This one's pretty cool. You probably have a lot of leads coming into your website, opting in for stuff. Maybe like 2 or 3 days in, have a drip email that says, hey, if you're thinking about moving here, you probably want to know some businesses. Here's some great ones. I hooked up for you some offers. Check them out. And that goes out to every new lead that comes in, sending traffic. And finally, maybe you invite them in to speak to your agents once a month. What I want you to see with these deliverables in the contract is minimal time. You are not their advertising agency and you are not in the done for you marketing services for their businesses. Don't cross that line. So let's think about this. 4 masterminds a year. Great. 4 hours a year. Hop on Zoom. 4 podcast appearances. Okay. You're working with Vyral. They join a Zoom meeting. Not that big of a deal. Goes to us. Sound good? Which you're going to spend time anyway making a video. Gift certificate closings. It's now a new piece of your checklist process. Professional video, professional photos. Copy photographer. Hey, go take photos of Bob's place. Done. Send me the invoice. Local business page feature. Not a big deal. Put it together. Give it to your web designer. List of new closings monthly. Easy. Give it to your transaction coordinator. Email introduction to every new lead. Set it up once for autoresponder. You're done. Team meetings. Invite them in. Do you see how these are all deliverables that add a lot of value to the business? That is minimal time and effort required of you. I want you guys to see that. Yes, Johnny?
Yeah, so this is the exact reason why I got it so jazzed up about this, because if you're already doing these things, it's really easy to plug it in. If you're not doing these things, these are all items you should be doing in your business to grow it and to scale it out and to increase the number of transactions you're doing every year and to grow a team. So this isn't another side project. This is something you should already be doing, and you're getting paid to do what you should already be doing. So
now, now not a lot of people do this. I wouldn't say this is a common thing.
No.
I'm just opening up your idea. Look, the question is never, I don't have the money. That is never the answer to the question. I don't have the money. The answer is, how do I get the money? And through pressure makes diamonds. And when you need money to get the leads and to grow your business, you look at all available options to you, and maybe I can create some type of vendor program. And this is a great thing that you can feel free to change the agreement, add something, subtract something. You don't have to use this exactly. Figure out whatever you want. But look, at the very bottom, it says, let's do this. Yes, sign me up. All right, Frank, let's do it. Sweet. Dude, I've had people come back they got like $250 a month that are like more joyous than their $30,000 commission on a listing. It's like, oh yeah, that was great. But God, this $250 a month, man. Woo, time to go out and celebrate. Right. But look, I agree to pay the discounted $6,000 fee today. This is a co-advertising agreement between me and you. I understand the rate increases to $12,000 a year from now, automatic renewal, and I may cancel anytime. And I also understand that I may request a full refund up to 90 days from today. And yes, if they request a refund, you just give all the money back. Yep, that's what we do at Vyral. You pay your build fee, you pay your monthly, and if you want all your money back, you just email, hey, Frank, did a great job. I just want my money back. I'll say, okay, and I refund it. That's how that works. All right. So you give them a 90-day money back guarantee. Okay. And you do those things. And lo and behold, you get a credit card. Now you're like, okay, I got a credit card. Never got one of those before. What do I do now? Well, you're going to have to go figure out a credit card processing service. You're going to need something with a virtual terminal. They're going to put you through some ringers to make sure you qualify for that. PayPal, Stripe, probably your best places to start. Call them up and say, hey, I take credit cards on like a signed contract. Like they write down the full information on the card. I'm not swiping them, or the user's not putting them in. Like I need to enter it. It's called a virtual terminal. I need to sign up for that. So they'll give you like this giant Patriot stuff you got to fill out and, like this to get one of those. And then you can run the credit cards and they'll take like 3% and probably a small monthly fee to run the cards. And that's how you get the money. Pretty cool, huh?
Super cool.
That's how you do it.
And as real estate agents, we're not used to taking credit cards. So that's
no, you're not. You're not used to taking credit cards, and you're not used to closing for cash. You're used to closing for a signature. So there's a lot of things here at play. I'm asking you to do something that's not very common. I'm asking you to go talk to business owners, which is not really what you do all day long. You talk to consumers. I'm asking you to go pitch a business owner for co-marketing, that you have to really kind of be at a higher acumen marketing wise to see the value of that. That's kind of an advanced marketing level. And I'm asking you to close for a credit card. Now, what's your objection? Well, Frank, I don't know if I want to give you $6,000. I don't know if I want to do it. I don't really know. Okay. Right. You get the opposite answer than yes, is what that is. All right. Well, here's how you handle that. You ready? You say, great. Let's just get started for free. That's it. Come back. So let's go. What cost is there to you? So what? Bring them to the mastermind. Do a little podcast guest with them. Put together the gift certificate. Get the business videos. Just do it. Do an active close. I can't even begin to tell you how many times at Vyral I've done that. I'd be willing to do it for any of you. Maybe call me up. State a really good case. Frank, I don't know, man. The hundreds of success stories you have just don't really convince me. I'm still not sure. Dude, let's just get an email out to your list and see what happens. Let's just do it to kind of get you over the hump. And then, if you want to start paying, you can pay then, right? Just do it free. Just get them going.
Earn their business.
Yeah, just do it. It's the trial close. It's the puppy dog close. You don't want the puppy? I'll leave the puppy with your kids and the family for a week, then I'll come back. You're going to buy the puppy. All right. Absolutely. So I would just do it. That's what I would do. So that is essentially the main presentation for today. Is let's go through the answers on the worksheet. Okay. We promised you today, Frank, how do I zero cost my marketing? Well, what does that mean? That means you go to people who benefit from the customers that you have, and you try to get some money for sending them customers. And I shared, let's just leave out anyone that applies to RESPA today, and let's focus on the non-RESPA compliant businesses. All right. So it starts with number one, building a list of business owners. Number two, you're going to feature them on your blog. You're going to interview them in your videos to go to your database, and you'll have a gift card at closing. I didn't share with you an example gift card. You're probably wondering, how do I get a gift certificate made? Well, here's an example. And you can go to Fiverr, type in gift certificate, and someone will make one for $5. That's it. That's how you do that. Okay. 2A is you also want to get them together from time to time for a mastermind. It's the glue that holds them together. 3A, you want high margin businesses. You want businesses 3B that are complementary to real estate, high new mover value. Number 3 is they're spending money on marketing. That's like the most important one. They know the game of customer acquisition and return on investment and spending money to get customers. It's a very small percentage of the business population. 3C is, you know them. I'm sorry, 3D rather is you know them. And 3E is the larger the company, a large company with resources rather to spend. Number 4 is, depending upon the relationship, is I like to call it the song and dance. How much what do I got to do to get your attention? Everything available to you. The lower the relationship, the more power distance, the more you're gonna have to beat through that wall. The closer the relationship, it's just a text. All right. But call, email, and I love the FedEx. FedEx is a wonderful B2B attention getting tool for $10. All right. Number 5 is I gave you great industries I would take a look at of places to go fishing, of businesses that hopefully would fit the criteria of 3A through E. Number 6 is make a list of all the businesses who have made money from your transactions. That's a great place to start. Number 7 is you'd like to post on Facebook that maybe you're looking for businesses to work with. Number 8, I gave you some escalating ways of maybe finding the contact information of who the business owner is. Don't you love the looking up their name on the assessor's website to mail it home? That's a good one. There's companies that sell those lists. I think it's called Macro Mark. Might do it. Number 9 is check out SL360 or melissa.com for an SIC or NAICS just to buy the contact information of homeowners in an industry. And they could probably have a filter on there of people that spend money on marketing and do over a certain level of revenue too. If you just purchase the list. And I gave you 4 items of value. I'll post them again for everyone. I've given you an example co-advertising agreement to ask for the money. I gave you the worksheet for today, which has been completed. I gave you kind of what a gift certificate looks like you can put in your emails on your website and at closing to help send some trackable business over to the business owner. And then I gave you kind of the messaging maybe I would use for your reach outs as an example letter here again, with the messaging of I can send you customers. Now, again, I showed you a letter, but it can be through any media that you use.
Boom.
There you are.
Everything you need.
So that's a lot.
Yeah.
This is something you listen to a few times. It's something that you open your mind to. You take it very slow, but it starts becoming a snowball. And who knows, you might end up at $200,000 a month like Chris Waters. I think for supplementary, by the way, material on this, Chris Waters talks about this on YouTube. Type in Chris Waters Zero Costing. You'll find some good YouTube videos that will talk more about this. And go check out the book, The $1 Million Real Estate Team, the chapter on the brand ambassador program. All right. If you go to Get Vyral, GETVYRAL, that's our firm. Case in point, we charge $2,000 up front one time and $550 a month. That's our service to interview you and do all this marketing for you. But bring them into your interviews, and then we'll do all the processing, get everything out. And it's we give you a 90-day money back guarantee that you get business from us, or all your money you get back. And the last thing I want to share with that is it's very possible to zero cost that for people, including you in your marketing. Now, you don't have to hire us. Many of you are doing this on your own already. Start including business owners in that content you're creating out to your list. That's it. So let's get some Q&A. How's that sound?
Fantastic. So I'm scrolling up. We have a number of questions. One person asks, what should we include in the shock and awe FedEx package? Like you mentioned, maybe a letter, maybe some other materials. What does that look like?
It could really just be a letter that you've written. So the simplest version is, I don't know, here's the letter. Just take the letter that you would write them and just put it in the FedEx, put it in the FedEx. And when they open, it's just a letter. And maybe it just, maybe just starts off, hey, I really wanted to reach you, so I FedEx this to you, and it's in there. So you don't have to put a whole bunch of stuff in there. Back in the day, this is a long time ago, I'll share something. I bought trash cans, these little small trash cans, and you can actually mail anything in the mail. If you actually put a label on a trash can, they will actually mail it. So I printed some letters and I crumpled them up and I put it in the trash can. So you got this trash can. What's this? And you open it up and you're ready for the headline. It says, "Since you've been throwing my letters already, I did it for you. But now that you opened this."
Gosh, that's gold.
Yeah.
Another one was what?
Yeah, Adam knows what I'm talking about. Yep. Go on.
Another question was, what percentage of these funds do you recommend we spend on advertising? And
Great question. Okay, so all of the money your vendors give you goes to advertising. So this is very important. In your pitch, you're saying, look, there's no skim here. Okay, there's no skim. All the money you get, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you can write the money to Facebook. I mean, you can literally just write a check to Facebook and say, or write a check to Vyral. Like, the money is going to go entirely to buying leads and buying business and getting leads here. And I would go over that with them. Like, when you meet them at the mastermind, saying, hey, collectively, I'm getting, $5,000 a month from all of you. Here's how I used it. This is what I spent it on. Yep. It's almost like you could think of them. I mean, it's not the case, but you could think of them as investors and saying, you put this money in, here's what I did to get these leads. And here's how I'm bringing these people over to you. It's a good way of thinking about it. And you should be open and honest and share that with them. All right. So all of the money. Now, there was a question asked at the very beginning of this, before we started, is how much of my budget, what should my budget be for marketing? Roughly about 10% of your GCI. I'd probably say the moving average the past 6 months. If you took the past 6 months of your gross commission income of all your commissions, add up, month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So December, November, October. I can't count months backwards. Those 6 months, add them up, divide by 6, and then multiply it by 0.1, which is 10%. That's that would be, from a business standpoint, a very healthy number of money to spend every month to get business. Some businesses would be as high as 20%, but the 10% on marketing is about just perfect. It's actually the number that Gary Keller recommends in the Millionaire Real Estate book, which is kind of the Bible written back in 2006 of like a really good book that you go on Amazon and read, when he broke down the budget model. But when you look at profitable teams that are running well, that probably do a very good job of database-oriented business, and they make calls, they're 10%. If they're buying lots of business and they're not really making calls, that margin, that percentage is a lot higher, and you're less profitable.
Got it.
Or is a percentage spent on marketing? Yeah. Other questions?
Yeah. So what about the new area agents, the new to the business industry agents? How do they show value? Like, they don't have any clients, they don't have anything. Like, how do they prove when they walk into these businesses that they don't have relationships with?
I think probably being very knowledgeable of showing them how you're going to use the money. So I would say first, I think I answered this earlier, is go watch the Undercover Billionaire on when you have nothing. How do you convince someone to give you something? And it's on confidence and charisma and enthusiasm of what you're going to sell and what you're going to do, not really what you're doing. There's so many parallels here, man. It's like when you're pitching, and it's like an investor pitch. I mean, you haven't even started the business yet, and you get money. Just understand that this happens all the time, of people giving people money without anything being there. That's how the world of investment works. So don't think that that's not possible. Now, with that, to build some confidence, because people usually buy on emotion and rationalize with logic, is saying, when you give me $1,000 a month or whatever it is, I mean, here's what I'm going to do with it. I brought Vyral in to show you what I'm doing with Vyral, or I brought my CRM company in, or I brought my team leader in, or I brought, I don't know, my direct mail rep, I don't know, whoever knows advertising, to show you, like, I'm going to take all your money and use it for this. So people call me, want to buy or sell a home, which is going to funnel down to you.
Which is a good point. I'm seeing a lot of similar questions, like, how do we use this money specifically? And if we're spending all the money, how does the agent benefit? I want to make it clear that you're spending the money to generate business for you. Yeah. Because your client, these people's clients as well.
Correct.
That's how they're going to benefit.
Yeah. You're taking all of that money, and I saw a question come up. Yes. Maybe you're paying an ISA to bang out 50, 75 calls to your database to find someone who's buy or sell a home. Sure. You're using that money to spend on Facebook ads or buyer leads. Maybe you're using it to buy a fancy CRM and lead generation. Maybe you're using a farming campaign. Maybe you're whatever, but you're using that money to buy your own marketing. That's how it works. It's going into the pot, so to speak. All these businesses are contributing this pot for you to use for your marketing.
Yeah. So think about what you're spending in marketing each month. What if that dropped down to zero, right? And not only did it drop down to zero, what if that total dollar out of your pocket, not even out of your pocket, but that total dollar spent on marketing increased? So if you're spending 1,000, what if everybody else is paying that 1,000, and so now you have an extra $1,000?
Yeah, zero costed. Yeah, I mean, so let's say your marketing budget is $2,000 a month, which is a super healthy marketing budget, I think, for anyone, most people listening here. Imagine if you just got 2 businesses to pitch in $1,000 a month, or 4 businesses to pitch in $500 a month. You now would have effectively zero cost in your $2,000 a month ad spend. Not bad.
Not bad at all. That helps when you're bringing on team members too, because
Mm-hmm.
you got to pay for their leads as well. Another question was, and this is actually I wrote down this question: how do you disclose that vendor relationship? Because I'm sure you got to do it on your website, you got to do it in paperwork. How do you recommend doing that?
Well, first off, hire a real estate attorney. Now, probably the easiest way that I've found for this is go to Upwork. Big fan of this. Go to upwork.com and put a post up saying, I'm looking for an attorney that's licensed in our state that specializes in real estate or advertising. I'm not sure, either or. And just say, hey, here's my agreement. This is what they're signing, right? And I just want to know, what do you recommend for disclosures to make sure everything's on the up and up? And that's ultimately what's going to probably protect you, is like, look, I actually talked to an attorney about this. You're just going to have some line. And I don't give that to you because that's legal advice. Sound good? Go to an attorney and get that. But they'll probably give you something that goes into your buyer agency agreement when you bring on a buyer. There's probably something that goes on your website that says there's a business disclosure. You know how like all these things pop up that you agree to. You know what I mean? There's probably something that goes in your closing documents. There's just probably more disclosure stuff. And there's nothing wrong with saying I get paid from people. You'll see a lot of influencers getting in trouble with the FTC. Now, I don't think you're on FTC level radar here, but if you're getting paid to write a tweet, or if you're getting paid to post something on social media, you have to disclose it. You have to say ad, you have to disclose it. If you Google FTC like influencer recommendations, whenever you're getting paid to recommend something, you have to disclose it to the consumer. Yeah, which is fine. No one cares. Hey, all these businesses I gave you gift certificates to, they're paying me. Fine. I mean, I go through my closing documents when I buy rentals, and there's all these documents, how the broker's getting paid off, and the title company, everyone has sign it. Sure, right? It's more like you could choose whoever you want, and it's just disclosing to the consumer. Awesome. So work with an attorney to figure out what the rules are for your state, and you'll be good to go. Go raise the money first, get paid, and then use that money to go hire the attorney. There you go.
Johnny, we have the affiliated business disclosure that could be given to any attorney, and that could amend to fit your business arrangements. So that's coming from Terry Jeffries. You guys don't know.
Yeah, I think even affiliated business disclosure is language for even like the people on the MSA, where like you have a K1 ownership in the title company and whatnot. So you're getting the more advanced stuff. But yes, just go to Upwork and find yourself an attorney that tell them this is what you're looking to do, and tell me what disclosures are to state legal, and follow the advice, and you're sound as a pound. Mm-hmm. Yep. Don't let that be the obstacle to making this happen. That's a solvable obstacle.
Yeah. So the biggest obstacle I found, at least for me personally, when implementing this in the last couple of weeks, is the attitude of being a real estate agent trying to approach businesses. Like it's a totally different mindset, because they're a totally different client, if you will. Can you shed some light on that, on how people should?
Yes, I can. There's different types of sales. You have very simple transactional selling, very low risk selling, to high level enterprise selling, like convincing Netflix to change their CRM from Oracle to Salesforce. The person that does, very simple sales, okay, to a person that's high level enterprise selling is a very different philosophical approach. So I think to answer your question, what I'm asking you to do here to go down this path is I'm you have to raise your selling acumen. It's not a simple, you can go to Mike Ferry's website and download, his scripts, which have been in the industry forever. It's just this straight line persuasion script to set the appointment. And it's like the listing appointment is like, you just read the script and they sign it's a very simple. It doesn't work that way, does it? It's much more relationship. There's more higher risk, so to speak. My answer to you is to go to Amazon and go buy some books on selling professional services or selling the intangible or B2B sales. So you'll have the perspective of B2C selling real estate, which you're not really closing for money. You're closing for a signature, and the money kind of shows up at closing that no one really sees, right? Or feels emotionally. To selling B2B, closing for a credit card and charging someone every single month. And if you kind of go fishing in selling professional services books or selling B2B and read some of those, you're going to go, okay, this is kind of reshifting my mindset of how I see the world, of I should kind of approach these models, this program, as maybe some of the models have been taught of what's very successful in real estate sales. That's it.
Got it.
That's my best advice there.
Yeah, because it's a different skill set. For those of you who are with EXP or who are trying to join teams and you're not, or grow teams, you're not with EXP, you found that recruiting is a different skill set than just selling houses and helping people buy houses.
Very much so.
This is going to be a totally different skill for you as well, but it's something that will absolutely benefit.
Yeah, people, let me say this. When you show up as a realtor, people get it. Like there's no really explaining. It's just, okay, yeah, you're going to sell my house. People get it. When you approach a business owner with this, they are not going to get it. It's very much of they would call it like an evangelical type sale. Like you have to go out and share with people that there's a better way to do something. You may be doing it this way, but here's this better way where you're selling something where the existing need isn't there. You have to meet with them and show them that I just have a better way to solve a need versus just solving some need that they already understand how it needs to be solved. Those are those little nuances that you'll pick up in the B2B professional selling books. So I digress. What's the next question, Johnny?
I think, so this does not violate anything with RESPA.
I have no idea.
Statement.
Assume all it does. Assume everything I share with you today is completely illegal. What I'd like you to do is go to Upwork. I'd like you to find an attorney that specializes in real estate. I'd like you to play this for them. I'd like you to share the contract with them. And before you take any money, just make sure you have all the necessary disclosures. And just let them know that you're looking for businesses that are not on the settlement statement. That's my advice.
So Frank's been super generous with his time. Typically, I only see him in 90-minute chunks, 60-minute chunks. And we have him slotted for 18 more minutes. So please, if you're still on this call, think about like, how are you going to walk through this step? And as you're thinking through it, what are your bottlenecks? What are your pain points? So that way Frank can address it for you right now. We're seeing a lot of thank yous, a lot of this is the best 2 hours they've spent in a long time.
Thanks, guys.
So, right.
Hopefully it's something new that you probably don't hear the same thing. It's like, This is a very interesting way of looking at the problem to solve it.
Yeah. So just to recap, you identify the businesses, you contact them some way, you meet up with them, you convince them to market with you, yep. And then you provide all this.
Let me use a little bit different language. Co-advertise with you.
Co-advertise.
Yep.
Co-advertise. I got my hand slapped again. I'm learning. You co-advertise with them, mm-hmm. And then you do these monthly masterminds and these quarterly events with them. So that way you stay top of mind. You're showing that your value. You can prove that, hey, I'm not pocketing this money and going to Mexico to Brent.
I am a flow-through entity. Yeah. It goes through me to all these people I have to pay to get the leads.
What is wrong with going to Mexico? I love Mexico.
Nothing's wrong. Only if they're going to your event, though, Brent. Only if they're going to
Cabo, April 25th. Shameless plug.
So
you killed it today. I mean, oh my gosh, this is.
Well, Brent, you've been in the industry a long time, dude. Give me some thoughts on all this.
Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, I wish I could. I can't. I'm a victim. I don't have the money. Nobody, my credit's not good, or I'm too new. I can't get a loan, or and tell us why you can't. And if you win the argument, you'll get more of the same, which is your credit will be bad. You won't have enough money. You can't get a loan, et cetera, et cetera. So this is brilliant. Like, put action to this.
Let me say
get
this. The
after
time, look, the time is now.
Yep.
Do you know how many of these businesses are like, well, we would do BNI networking events, and I would do these like, kind of non-high level digital marketing stuff for most of their business. Well, that's all been like wiped out. So when you show up as like kind of a savvy marketer and salesperson, be like, I got this blog and Facebook and be on a podcast. I'm like, huh? That sounds cool. That's probably the direction I probably need to do, and you can guide me through this. I'd love to be a part of it. So COVID's actually helped you to approach these businesses that have to rethink how they bring in. They have realized they need to set up more strategic partnerships, and one with a realtor would make a lot of sense.
Yep, and sell it. Get after it. They're like, man, he's different. She's different. You know what? I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it. Yeah, put me down for 500 a month. Put me down for 1,000 a month. 3,000. You have not because you ask not. Get out there and start asking for the business. Refer them like crazy. Shame them into it. Send your plumber, your painter, your solar, your roof, and you should be doing that stuff. Period, because that's who you are. You're a giver. So love it. This is so good. This is so good.
Thanks, guys. What's next?
Well, everybody's just saying this is gold. Don't forget Undercover Billionaire. Somebody made a comment, Frank, that you remind them of, oh gosh, it's too far. Frank Kern.
Sharp guy.
I'll think that's cool. That's good.
Yeah,
I remember being maybe in high school.
Yeah.
And like, I'm online and there's this like total like surfer dude, like walking on the beach, talking about how he makes all his money on the internet. I'm like, God, that'd be amazing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I know.
I get Brad Pitt all the time,
Yeah.
Brad Pitt.
All right. So Jeremy just wants to make sure he understands. He says, I advertise my company to get leads. I share my leads with the businesses that I get the money from. Is that correct? And I blog about them.
Yeah. Yes. Again, this is something you have to kind of listen to a few times. This is a very advanced marketing training of how to think this way.
Yep.
Essentially, I guess the other way you could title this is how to set up B2B strategic relationships to grow your real estate business.
Yep.
Because another way to look at this, guys, is let's leave the money out. I think the money colludes thought. Let's rename this whole thing theoretically, how to set up B2B relationships to grow your business. You would let's leave the money out. You're never asking for any money, but you're going to go out and do everything we talked about today to go do everything in the contract, except the pay is zero. Got it? Okay, now we're feeling better because the money kind of gets us emotional. All right. What do you get in return for doing all that? Now, are you ready for the answer? And this is probably one of the most, your understanding of this will exponentially open up opportunity for lead generation for you. You get access to their list. Let me say it again. You get access to their list. Let me tell you a quick story just before we end. I think this is a really cool story. I started snoring like last year terribly. My wife wanted to kill me so bad. Like I was waking up choking, snoring. All right. I actually ended up getting my tonsils removed. And I went to my dentist and they're like, oh, Frank, we have this snoring thing that will fix your snoring. It's this mouth guard you wear at night and it pulls your lower jaw up so it opens your airway. It's called a Sonomen device. I'm like, well, that sounds great. How much is it? Oh, it's $2,000. Like, oh, okay. Sounds good. So anyways, I buy it. They do the molds. Amazing. Not the sexiest thing, but you don't snore at night wearing it. All right.
There's some value there.
So I go back. I'm like, how's that thing that we built for him? Like, dude, it's pretty sweet. They're like, is there any chance like you can make a testimonial for us? Because like we want to help more people. We want to sell more of these for $2,000, right? Like, yeah, yeah, the dental checkups don't do it, and they're here in Coronado. Now, Coronado's a little small little island off of San Diego that, people lived here a very long time. And I'm like, okay, I'll make you a testimonial video, but how are people going to see it? They're like, put it on our website. I'm like, no. Do you have an email list of all your patients you can email it out to? And they go, huh. Yeah, we should do that. That would make a lot of sense. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, how long have you been here on this island? They're like 30 years. Like 30 years? I'm assuming most of your patients are homeowners here, right? Oh yeah, they all live here. Okay. And you have all their contact information? Because all these homes are in trusts. I can't get it. Oh, well, that's nice. So my mind starts running and I'm going, man, what an amazing opportunity to do something of interviewing this dentist in some way. I don't have to go into the ideas here, but to help them get some messages out to their list that has you as the realtor in it, because you have all these permission-based contact information of homeowners in the area. And that's not just one business. There's lots of other businesses you can do that with. So hopefully that story kind of opens your mind a little bit, but it's not, what I'm trying to say here is don't let the money collude it. It's these other businesses have databases too. And how can you co-create some content to get them to mail on it out to their list to help you out? That's all.
Beautiful.
You like my snoring story?
It's a great point. Bottom line is this. I love the Henry Ford quote. If you think you can, you probably can. And if you think you can't, you're probably right. So it's kind of a, don't be beat inside here. Get out there and just whip it. Massive action. Go talk to 40 businesses tomorrow like your life depends on it, because I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You ready? Your life depends on it. The neighborhood you live in, the private schools your kids attend, or the public schools they go to, because mommy and daddy didn't have any chutzpah, and they can't teach chutzpah. Hunger is your greatest asset, man. Just want it. So what do I say? Just go say something. Progress before perfection. Get out there, mix it up. I want to end with a story. It's not a snoring story. It's an escrow story. My good friend Barry Mathis had no escrows 7 weeks ago. It's Thanksgiving. Isn't he thankful? Nothing in escrow, nothing coming to take care of Christmas for his family. And he got upset. His coach challenged him to have 10 conversations about real estate a day. He's like, well, what do I talk about? He says, I don't care anything. Buyers, sellers, interest rates, anything you think of, 10 conversations a day. He goes, it is way harder to do than I thought, number one. And I did it like 80% of the time, didn't even hit it all the time. But he has 17 homes in escrow today. So let's do the math. How many of you could have 10 conversations a day about what Frank's talking about? Because this is real estate, right?
And remember, I want to send you customers. What a great way to lead a conversation.
Bingo. Yeah. And you need to watch this. Again, are you recording this? Is this something you're going to put out or no? Or people can get from you?
I am recording it. It's up to you guys whether it goes out.
All right. Frank, can we have permission to put this out or?
Absolutely.
Okay, we will. We'll put it on brentgove.com. We'll put it under marketing out there, under, all that sort of thing, real estate agent training. But here's the deal. My gosh, you've been given the golden goose. Just go out there and burn it up. And you can talk to 10 people a day about real estate, but they're like, oh, I need to list a home or I need to buy a home. 17 escrows in 7 weeks. No escrows at Thanksgiving. 17 open escrows today. Get out of your head. I'll end with this. Tony Robbins says, if you're in your head, you're dead. Stop thinking about the podcast. Stop thinking about the book. Stop thinking about the YouTube channel. Stop thinking about talking to 10 people a day. Talk to 20 tomorrow. Talk to 30 tomorrow. Go nuts. The only person holding you back is Frank. Nope. Is Brent. No, I'm not holding you back. We're pushing you forward. We're going to go. It must be John Jennings. It's his fault. You are the only person keeping you from your goals and dreams in life, to feel fulfilled or to feel beat up and beat yourself up. Self-loathing never served the world. You can't love somebody if you hate yourself. So anyways, this was awesome. Frank, thanks for doing this today. Any final thoughts as we wrap this
No,
up?
people want to know what the snoring device is. Put it in the chat.
Talk to your dentist. They all know it costs them $200 to make. They sell it to you for 2,000. They don't 10x, they 20x. But hey, I guarantee you, Frank's wife, she's like, it could have cost $4,000. She'd write the check. So
He's happy.
yeah, I lost some poundage, so I quit snoring. But I know my wife's like, get out. She kicked me out, sleep on that couch. So all right, John, anything you want to say as we go?
Nope. I just want to say thank you so much, Brent, for helping put this on. And Frank, thanks so much for donating your time for the last 2 hours. I loved it. I learned something new, and I've seen it many times already. So thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, Frank. All right. Happy New Year, everyone. Go out there and slay it. We'll see you in Cabo, April 25th at our mastermind in the tropics. Who knows? I may get Frank to show up and you can
Come on, Frank.
sip
Come
on
on.
a pina colada at the pool with Frank.
It's right down the peninsula.
1,000 people showing up. That's the kind of place where Frank likes to hang out with big thinkers. We'll see you there. Bye, guys. Bye. Thank you, Frank.